Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pitch and Paddock. Today we'll be covering Week 3 of MLS action. This week we visited Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale to watch Inter Miami play Charlotte. There was some optimism that Messi would be there, but with Javier Mascherano alluding to him probably playing before the match. But I think that went out of the window whenever Ustari got a red card on a dog so challenge late in the first half. So as for the game itself, it was pretty tight, not a lot of offensive chances. Kind of disappointing and surprising given the star power that was on the field for both sides. After a pretty dull first half, Miami came out really quick in the second half. Opening whistle, they had the down and man. They had some beautiful link-up play with Allende backheeling it to Suarez, who delivered it right back in. A beautiful ball, like on a platter, that Allende just buried in the far corner. It was the game's only goal. Not much more to say about the actual game itself. As for my experience at the stadium, I was really surprised, to be honest. It was pretty rough. Nothing about it felt like a Major League Soccer stadium. The restrooms were mobile trailers. The food vendors were operating mostly out of food trucks. And honestly, it just felt like a really good high school stadium, more so than a professional one. Now, I know Freedom Park is going to open soon, and it's going to be amazing. This is Miami's sixth season in MLS, and with the most popular player in the world, I don't really know. I just don't know. I guess I just expected much different, to be honest, out of the stadium. And we sat in those seats that were added to meet the Messi demand. They looked and felt like every bit of an afterthought. They were like the temporary grandstands that you might see at an IndyCar race, right? So it was just a weird experience, even walking up there. But the stadium was packed and the fans were loud and engaged. There were probably about 4 or 5 Messi chants throughout the game, and I don't think I saw a single non-Messi jersey in the stadium. And I think Miami fans get a lot of criticism, fair or not, about being plastic, and more so like Messi supporters than Inter Miami supporters. And there's no question that there were thousands and thousands of people that were there, mainly to see the GOAT. But I think the core group of Inter Miami supporters, like the ones that have been there since before Messi, they deserve a lot of credit. I thought their energy and coordination in the supporter section, it was phenomenal. I remember being at the 2020 playoff match when Nashville hosted Miami, and the traveling supporters there brought the same type of energy. Again, I can't say it enough. The core group of supporters was absolutely amazing. Everything from the drum line, the music they were playing, to the chants, to the relentless jumping around. They were high energy, from beginning to end. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the visit. As for the stadium itself, I don't know. Maybe wait for Freedom Park to open before making a trip down there. On to Nashville SC versus Portland. Nashville came out in the same 4-2-2-2 that they had the previous week. But this time they had Yazbek and Ahmed Kassim in the starting lineup, which I think is going to be closer to what we could expect for them. It was a wild opening 16 minutes with Nashville getting good pressure in behind that Portland back line and earning 2 penalties. The first one, Haney went up to take it, shot to the left of the keeper. Didn't get it over into the corner far enough, and then Pantemis made a diving save. Good save by Pantemis, but you could clearly see the frustration that Haney is feeling and the pressure he's feeling. And then a few minutes later, they draw another penalty, and this time gave Haney the break and let Surridge step up to take it. Unfortunately for Nashville fans, it was the same result. Saved by, on the same side, diving to the right side. And I've never seen that before, 2 missed PKs in such a short time. And it felt kind of comical at the point. Like, you're just like, Nashville's never going to get on the board. They're just struggling to find that goal. But as frustrating as it was in the moment, you could really see what Nashville is looking to become. They want to be a team that likes to possess the ball, even out of the back, deep in the back, and I don't mind that at all as an identity. It looks like BJ wants to build an identity similar to what like Wilfred Nancy has in Columbus. And don't get me wrong, Nashville's still a long way off from that. They're still a little sloppy sometimes, especially dealing with Portland's high press in the first half. They gave a ball away right outside the box that led to this dangerous free kick. And they'll get better, and again, I don't mind the effort at all. Huge collective sigh at the end of the first half with Nahar getting a goal in the last kick of the half. Eddie again all over the place. I think he logged over 8 miles running during the match. He's consistently pressuring the ball. He just, his pressure just led to so many turnovers that gave Nashville second and third chances high up the field. And that's exactly what started the play where he assisted Nahar on the first goal. I think with Eddie's mobility, having him in that new left defensive mid position really balances the attack. I think in the first 2 weeks it was pretty heavy, relying on the right side, and just felt off balance. And now in this new role, I'm just really loving what I'm seeing from the club. In the second half, Portland came out much more direct. I think that really opened up the field for Nashville too, to show what they can do on build up. They had plenty of great chances, including this beautiful strike off the crossbar by Cassim on a quick free kick that Sam took, and then Walker got in unmarked on a set piece and crossed it just high. Headed it just high. And then Cassim finally got the goal, textbook offensive header down and towards the corner. And overall, I think Nashville really should be optimistic about the style of play we're seeing. I don't know how high the ceiling is, but I think the floor is probably the playoffs for this team. And if not, at least the soccer is going to be entertaining all year. On to Los Angeles for Sunday night soccer, where we saw St. Louis City play the Galaxy. For whatever reason, when these two teams play, there seems to be lots of action. I was at Dignity Health when these two teams played last year, when they scored 6 goals, including a bicycle kick from City and just a ton of great runs by Joseph Paintsel getting in behind City's line. It was very entertaining. It's very exciting soccer for fans, and tonight was no different. For the Galaxy, no Pooch and Paintsel due to injuries, of course, and then Jovic going to KC. So this was a good opportunity for City to catch the Galaxy shorthanded and potentially tired. They just played a midweek Champions Cup match too, which they lost to. For City, Klaus is back in the starting lineup. This guy really needs to get going. He's got 5 goals in his last 33 appearances. So that's almost the whole season, and they just need way much more from their DP9. That's just not going to cut it for that position. But they came out in a 4-4-2 again, similar to what they did in San Diego. Although they looked a lot less compact, I think, than they did last week when they were in that low block. And that allowed LA to get a lot more penetration deep and test Berkey. And Berkey was Berkey. He was absolutely bananas. Made 8 saves, including a few just absolute highlight reel saves. I mean, what can you say about Berkey? He's an amazing goalie. And then the action was very, very open. Both teams getting a lot of chances. It was coming up to the end of the first half, and it looked like the teams were going to go in the locker room scoreless before Toyshirt finally got City on the board. He buried a ball that was just kind of banging around the box after Mikovic fumbles it. Looked like he bumped into Yoshida. Lucky break, nonetheless, but good on Toyshirt for pouncing on it. And then they almost got another set-piece goal just a minute after that, where Totland almost banged home a crazy header. And truth be told, though, at this point, there could have been 5 or 6 goals in that first half if it wasn't for a couple near misses like that from City and Berkey just being Berkey. In the second half, City pulled away with 2 more, Hartzell and Beecher getting on the board. But again, the Galaxy had their chances too in the second half. I mean, they just couldn't finish, and much like I felt about Nashville, it's almost comical at this point. But overall, if you're a City fan, you got to be pretty ecstatic with this result. I think defensively, their backline got a lot more exposed this week than last, but I think they would trade that for the better, much more quality counterattacking they had this week. And really, a 3-0 win on the road is pretty impressive, regardless of the circumstances. For the Galaxy, offensively, they looked, I thought, pretty good. I mean, this is the best that I've seen them look all season. Just another, more miscommunication and defensive lapses, though, that were just brutal. I'm not sure where they end up this year. I don't think they're cup contenders again like they were last year, but they could be a playoff team. Although losing 3 in a row to start the season, I think that's going to have Galaxy fans pretty worried. But that's it for this week. And guess what? Next week is race week. So super excited about that. Looking forward to watching Formula One season kick off in Melbourne and then talking more MLS. So until then, everybody be safe, be kind, and we'll see you next week.